He's dressing like, the same shit. He dressing like Diddy?
When Jeffrey Epstein started showing up in places, white people started saying, hey man, what is that guy? Who is he? What do he do? How did he become rich? Man, they started giving a pushback. There was never no pushback against Diddy, even with all the rumors of him killing Tupac. So I don't think Diddy just got something on the executive, he got something on everybody.
The legal troubles surrounding Sean "Diddy" Combs have become one of the biggest stories in the entertainment industry. As new court filings, lawsuits, and witness statements continue to emerge, several celebrities who were once connected to Diddy have found themselves pulled into the public conversation. Among the names that generated the most speculation was Philadelphia rapper Meek Mill. For months, social media users and online blogs linked Meek's name to allegations surrounding Diddy, despite the fact that no criminal charges were ever filed against him. The constant rumors eventually pushed Meek to publicly respond, explaining exactly why his name had become part of the discussion and what he actually experienced during the years he knew Diddy. According to Meek Mill, much of the online narrative was built on assumptions rather than verified facts. The controversy largely began after music producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy. Inside that lawsuit was a brief reference to an unnamed Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Although no individual was identified directly, many people on social media immediately assumed the description referred to Meek Mill. That single line quickly spread across blogs, YouTube channels, and social media platforms. Before long, many people were treating speculation as though it were established fact, even though Meek's name never actually appeared in the court filing. As the rumors continued to grow, Meek finally decided to address them publicly. In a series of posts on social media followed by an interview with Complex, he denied the online claims and argued that the internet had created a completely different story from what was actually written in the lawsuit. He pointed out that there is a major difference between being directly named in legal documents and becoming the subject of internet speculation. In his opinion, that distinction was ignored by many people who rushed to create headlines before checking the facts. Meek also reminded people that portions of Lil Rod's lawsuit had already been dismissed by the court, although other claims remain active. His argument wasn't that every allegation against Diddy was false. Instead, he said his own name had been unfairly attached to claims that never specifically involved him. After addressing the lawsuit itself, Meek spoke about his past relationship with Diddy. He admitted that he had attended some of Diddy's public events over the years, including New Year's celebrations and industry gatherings. However, he rejected claims that he regularly participated in the infamous private parties that have become the center of online speculation. According to Meek, the wildest thing he personally witnessed at some events was the widespread use of drugs and alcohol. He made it clear that those environments were never something he considered normal or part of his personal lifestyle. Another point Meek emphasized repeatedly was that he almost never attended these events alone. He explained that whenever he traveled to parties or industry functions, he usually brought several close friends from Philadelphia with him. Those friends stayed around him throughout the night, something he says helped him avoid situations that could later become questionable or uncomfortable. Looking back, Meek suggested that surrounding himself with trusted people may have been one of the smartest decisions he ever made. During the interview, he also addressed criticism from people who questioned why he had ever associated with Diddy in the first place. Meek responded by explaining that Diddy was one of the most influential figures in hip-hop for decades. Like many younger artists, he respected Diddy's accomplishments in music and business. Attending industry events hosted by someone with that level of influence was not unusual at the time. However, he insisted that professional relationships should not automatically be interpreted as proof that someone participated in illegal or inappropriate activities. He argued that social media often ignores this distinction, creating guilt by association rather than relying on evidence. As the rumors spread, Meek said the situation became deeply personal. It wasn't just his own reputation that was affected. His family, especially his teenage son, also had to deal with the constant online speculation. According to Meek, watching his son see misleading stories about his father was one of the main reasons he decided to speak publicly instead of remaining silent. He also expressed frustration with what he described as coordinated attacks across social media. Meek claimed that many accounts pushing the rumors appeared to behave like bots or organized networks designed to amplify unverified stories. Whether or not that claim can be proven, he believes the internet can damage a person's reputation long before facts have a chance to catch up. For Meek, this became a much larger issue than simply defending himself. He argued that today's online environment allows one vague allegation to spread across dozens of media outlets within hours. Even if corrections appear later, the original rumor often reaches far more people than the truth ever does. That, he said, is one of the biggest problems with modern celebrity culture. As Meek Mill continued explaining his side of the story, the conversation shifted away from his personal defense and toward a much bigger question. If so many celebrities had attended Diddy's parties over the years, why had almost no one publicly shared their own experiences? According to Meek, that silence was impossible to ignore. He wasn't accusing every person who had ever been around Diddy of doing something wrong. Instead, he questioned why so many well-known figures suddenly had nothing to say after years of publicly celebrating Diddy, attending his events, and posting photos together. To Meek, that silence created just as many questions as the rumors themselves. He argued that if those gatherings were completely harmless, more people would likely have spoken publicly to explain what they saw. Instead, many famous names simply disappeared from the conversation, leaving social media to fill in the blanks with speculation. At the same time, Meek was careful to separate his own experiences from the serious allegations currently being made against Diddy. He repeatedly explained that he could only speak about what he personally witnessed. According to him, he never claimed to have seen the criminal behavior described in federal investigations or civil lawsuits. What he did describe, however, was an atmosphere where drugs and excessive partying appeared to be common. Even then, Meek insisted that he never allowed himself to become fully immersed in that lifestyle. He said he always stayed close to people he trusted and avoided placing himself in situations where he felt uncomfortable. Looking back, he believes those decisions protected him from becoming involved in circumstances that later generated intense public scrutiny. During the interview, Meek also reflected on how quickly internet culture can destroy someone's reputation. He argued that today's media environment rewards speed instead of accuracy. Once a rumor begins trending, dozens of websites often repeat the same claim before anyone verifies whether it's actually true. By the time corrections eventually appear, millions of people have already accepted the original story as fact. That, according to Meek, is exactly what happened in his case. He believes a vague description inside one lawsuit was transformed into hundreds of headlines that suggested much more than the legal filing ever actually stated. While discussing the controversy, Meek also spoke about the pressure many artists face after entering the entertainment industry. Powerful executives, successful producers, and influential celebrities often become mentors for younger artists trying to build careers. Because of that, professional relationships are frequently misunderstood once legal problems arise years later. Meek argued that attending an industry party or appearing in photographs with another celebrity should never automatically be treated as evidence of criminal involvement. He reminded viewers that thousands of entertainers have attended major Hollywood events over the years without knowing everything happening behind the scenes. According to him, simply being present at public events does not prove someone participated in illegal activity. Another issue Meek addressed was the growing belief that everyone connected to Diddy somehow knew everything that was allegedly happening. He rejected that assumption completely. Instead, he explained that large celebrity events often include hundreds of guests, business partners, media personalities, security staff, and performers. Most attendees interact for only a short period before leaving. From his perspective, many people are now trying to rewrite history by assuming every guest had complete knowledge of everything occurring behind closed doors. Meek argued that reality is usually much more complicated. As the interview continued, he became increasingly frustrated with how easily speculation spreads online. He pointed out that social media algorithms often reward the most shocking headlines, regardless of whether those headlines are supported by evidence. A rumor involving a famous celebrity can receive millions of views within hours, while factual corrections receive only a fraction of that attention. According to Meek, once that cycle begins, repairing a damaged reputation becomes incredibly difficult. He also suggested that black entertainers often face an especially aggressive level of public scrutiny. Without dismissing the serious allegations against Diddy, Meek argued that unrelated black artists are sometimes pulled into controversies based only on association rather than evidence. Whether people agree with that opinion or not, Meek made it clear that he believes the entertainment industry has developed a habit of allowing online narratives to replace verified facts. One of the strongest points he made involved accountability. Rather than hiding from difficult questions, Meek chose to answer them directly. He acknowledged attending events hosted by Diddy. He acknowledged knowing him professionally. He acknowledged being photographed with him over the years. But he firmly denied participating in the behavior now being discussed in lawsuits and federal investigations. For Meek, there is a clear difference between admitting a professional relationship existed and admitting involvement in criminal conduct. Those, he argued, should never be treated as the same thing. The rapper also revealed that the rumors had affected him emotionally. Watching strangers debate his character every day became exhausting, especially because many of the people spreading accusations had never met him personally. He explained that people who actually know him, friends, family members, longtime business partners, and people from Philadelphia, never questioned the type of person he is. Instead, most of the criticism came from anonymous online accounts repeating stories they had seen elsewhere. That realization convinced Meek that remaining silent would only allow the speculation to continue growing. So instead of disappearing from public view, he chose to speak directly, hoping that his own words would provide context missing from countless viral headlines. Still, even after defending himself, one question continued to bother him more than anything else. If so many influential people spent years around Diddy, why were so few willing to publicly describe their own experiences now that the legal investigations had reached the national spotlight? According to Meek, that silence remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in the entire story. As the discussion came to an end, Meek Mill made it clear that his goal was never to defend Sean Diddy Combs or dismiss the seriousness of the legal cases surrounding him. Instead, he wanted to separate verified facts from internet speculation and explain why he believed his own name had been unfairly dragged into the controversy. Throughout his public statements, Meek consistently emphasized one point: people should judge individuals based on evidence rather than assumptions. According to him, being photographed with someone, attending industry events, or maintaining a professional relationship does not automatically make a person responsible for everything that individual may later be accused of. He believes that distinction has largely disappeared in today's social media culture. As federal investigations continue, prosecutors remain focused on gathering evidence related to Diddy's alleged activities. Those investigations involve witness testimony, court documents, electronic records, and other material that will ultimately determine the outcome of the legal process. Meek stressed that these official investigations should not be confused with the countless rumors circulating online. He argued that the public often treats every viral post as if it were a confirmed fact, even when no evidence has been presented. That, he said, creates lasting damage to people whose names become attached to stories without proof. During the interview, Meek also reflected on how power operates inside the entertainment industry. For decades, Diddy was viewed as one of hip-hop's most influential businessmen. Countless artists attended his parties, collaborated with him, or appeared alongside him at award shows and industry events. Looking back now, many of those old photos and videos are being viewed through a completely different lens. Meek believes that hindsight has caused many people to reinterpret ordinary public appearances as evidence of something much larger. Whether those conclusions are justified remains a matter for investigators, not social media. Another subject that surfaced during the conversation was the comparison some commentators have made between the Diddy investigation and other high-profile cases involving powerful public figures. Meek acknowledged that people naturally look for similarities whenever a celebrity faces major legal accusations. However, he suggested that every case should be evaluated on its own facts rather than being merged together through speculation. He argued that drawing broad conclusions before investigations are complete can create even more misinformation. At the same time, Meek admitted that the controversy had changed the way he thinks about the entertainment business. He explained that fame often places artists in environments filled with powerful people, enormous opportunities, and intense public attention. Those same environments can also create situations where rumors spread quickly and reputations become difficult to protect. Because of that experience, Meek said he has become much more selective about the events he attends and the people he surrounds himself with. One detail he repeated several times was that he never traveled alone when attending industry gatherings. Having trusted friends nearby gave him confidence and accountability, something he now considers even more important after everything that has happened. Meek also addressed the personal toll the controversy had taken. He explained that defending yourself against accusations is challenging because people often remember the allegation long after they forget the correction. Even when evidence disproves a rumor, many individuals continue repeating the original story simply because it generated more attention. According to Meek, That reality affects not only celebrities but also their families, friends, and children. He said seeing his loved ones exposed to endless speculation convinced him that staying silent was no longer an option. Instead of allowing others to define the narrative, he chose to publicly explain his own experiences and let people decide for themselves. Whether audiences ultimately believe his explanation or remain skeptical is something each person must determine independently. What cannot be ignored, however, is that Meek placed his statements on the public record, while many others connected to Diddy's social circle have chosen not to comment at all. That contrast has become one of the most discussed aspects of the entire situation. As Diddy's legal proceedings continue, more testimony, documents, and evidence may emerge. Investigators, not social media, will ultimately determine what can be proven in court. Until that process is complete, many questions remain unanswered. For Meek Mill, the biggest lesson from this experience is how quickly public opinion can be shaped by incomplete information. He believes people should be cautious before accepting online narratives as established facts, especially when those narratives involve serious allegations that have not been proven. Regardless of where the legal cases ultimately lead, the controversy has already demonstrated how rapidly speculation can spread in today's digital world. A single sentence in a lawsuit became weeks of headlines. A professional relationship became the subject of endless internet debate. And one rapper found himself defending his reputation against claims that, according to him, were never actually made in court. The legal process surrounding Sean Diddy Combs is still unfolding, and future developments may provide additional clarity. Until then, the story remains divided between verified court proceedings, public statements from those involved, and the countless rumors that continue to circulate online. As always, the most reliable approach is to follow confirmed information as it becomes available and allow the legal process to determine the facts. What do you think about Meek Mill's decision to publicly address the controversy? Was speaking out the right move, or do you believe staying silent would have been a better strategy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more updates on the biggest stories shaping the entertainment industry, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next report. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
missing for years. The you-know-what files, as they have come to be known in public discourse, revealed just how many names were